In today's show, we'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as we're back in the green, back above 66,000. We'll also be discussing breaking news. Mr. 100 already bought an additional 300 more Bitcoin on the day. That's 2,566 BTC in the past 5 days. Pretty wild. Also breaking news, Coinbase is now officially integrating the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And as we know, they have over 100 million users worldwide. We'll also be discussing hodling Bitcoin now profitable 99.92% of all days. So congrats to my long-term hodlers. We'll also be discussing the SEC's closed door policy is stifling crypto innovation, according to the crypto mom, Hester Pierce, as well as Bitcoin is a hedge against horrible government fiscal policy, according to the one and only Cathie Wood. We'll also be discussing a supply shock coming for Bitcoin after Bitcoin hits this really important milestone, according to Anthony Pompliano. Also, quant analyst PlanB says this Bitcoin cycle top will be higher than $500,000 in 2025. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the stream, important, smash the subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day like this. Also pump the like. It helps tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and I greatly appreciate all the support I can get. Today is pod episode number 1598. I'm your host, JV, and today is April 3rd, 2024. Happy hump day, or I should say pump day, being we're in crypto and we're pumping. It's a Wednesday, just saying. But anyways, family, welcome y'all. Let's kick it off with our market watch. You can see Bitcoin back in the green, trading at roughly 66,300. We also have Ether pumping, trading at roughly $3,350. BNB in the green, while Cardano, AVAX, XRP, and Polkadot are all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting at a 2.51 trillion market cap with roughly 107 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance, the same as yesterday, 52.1%, with the Ether dominance back at 16% even. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we have Athena up 60%. We had BGB 24% and Flare up roughly 15%. Below that, Jupiter, Injective, BitEnsor, and IOS. Now, which alts in particular you guys and gals most bullish on for this bull run? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get more of a visual perspective on the daily. Safe to say, maybe half the alts are in the green, the other half are in the red. But zooming out on the monthly, still got very respectable gainers. Jupe up 173%, WIF 100%, Near 46%, Core 300%, Ton 85%, Maker 79%, MNT 40%, and Pith 32%. Even Solana up 43% on the month. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated back in greed at a 71. Yesterday was a 79 extreme. Last week an 83, and last month an 82 in extreme greed. And checking out the Bitcoin halving countdown. Wow, 2 more weeks until the biggest event that occurs only every 4 years in the crypto sphere, which is Bitcoin halving. The estimated date scheduled to take place April 19th, 2024. But note, it's all dependent upon the block. The current block we're at is 837,561. As soon as we hit 840,000, that's officially the halving. Where do you feel the Bitcoin price will likely be within the next 15 days at this time? Holla at your boy. And checking out the time chain calendar, you can see the block we're currently on, which is showing in real time 837,569. It shows you the Bitcoin market cap at 1.31 trillion, and you can currently trade $1 for 1,507 satoshis. But not for long. Eventually, you'll be able to spend $1, maybe only get 500 satoshis. So you already know. Take advantage of it while you still can, because this is a pretty great pre-halving Bitcoin price, in my opinion, because keep in mind, we hit the 69,000 all-time high previous cycle back in 2021. So we're at a pretty substantial discount still. So anyways, family, welcome everyone just joining the stream. Pump that mofo up.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
But anyways, fam, let's dive into a little bit of technical analysis. Check out the charts where the price action is likely to pump next, shall we? Here we go. Bitcoin returned above 66 Gs on April 3rd. And speaking of 66 Gs,
60 Gs, baby!
as market observers brushed off the Silk Road. Bitcoin sales from the government. That's right. You're looking at the 1 hour chart here. Now, data from TradingView tracked the modest Bitcoin price recovery after lows of nearly 64.5 after the daily close. And if you bought the dip, put BTFD in that live chat, family. Now, these came amid news of the U.S. government having moved 30,000 Bitcoin worth over 2.1 billion, which it confiscated from the defunct marketplace Silk Road on chain, subsequently selling 2,000 biddies at 133 mil. While this appeared to, what does that say, agitate an already nervous market, traders were quick to call for calm, quoting Van de Pop. In every market, we've got bullish and bearish narratives. At peak bullish momentum, you'll see a huge impact of every bearish narrative. This time, it's the Silk Road Bitcoin being transferred. He also added that he was happy that more of the Bitcoin supply was not available. Others stressed the insignificance of the amount sold. Now, on the buy side, the latest data from sources, including the UK-based investment firm Farside, puts the total inflows to the US spot Bitcoin ETFs at just over 40 million for April 2nd, combined with 183 million seen on March 28th, the previous Wall Street trading day with a positive net flow. The total easily eclipsed the government sell-off. So just like that, no miss a skip of our step here, family. In his latest market update, we also had Scoo hoping to see the spot buyers maintain momentum, quoting him here, nice sweep of the lows and good buyback reaction. And even more optimistic was fellow trader Jelly, who stressed that the Bitcoin bulls had already cleared the most significant long-term resistance hurdles. As he outlines here, Bitcoin broke the last weekly resistance on the chart, destroying all the leverage on the retest, having in less than 3 weeks. That's right, we only got 2 more weeks to go, family. Send it higher. Now, Van de Pop also stressed that corrections are normal. They'll do happen. You'll see them happening in every market circumstance. And he also says, in this case, I fancy a correction on Bitcoin as it would imply a healthier and organic market cycle. Dips for buying in these markets are for buying, that is. I agree 100%. And as Invest Answers points out, shout out Invest, he says the day is young and Mr. 100 already got 300 more Bitcoin. That is 2,566 biddies in 5 days. Now, my question for you, who do you think this is, Mr. 100? Could it be Andrew Tate? Could it be Jeff Bezos? Could it be a nation state? Let me know your thoughts, family. I'll read those out loud. And also breaking news, Coinbase now officially integrating the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And as we know, they have over 100 million users. My comment, about time. What took them so damn long? Because they kind of teased us about implementing it a while ago when the fees were outrageous, and they never did. So I expected them to do that a long time ago. So just saying, let me know your thoughts, family. But let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss these HODL profits. The headline reads, HODLing Bitcoin now profitable 99.92% of all the days. Not too shabby. Bitcoiners maintained a profitable portfolio for 99.92% of all the days, leaving just 6 days when investing in Bitcoin, which did not turn out to be profitable. Wow, imagine being one of the investors on those 6 days. That'd be crazy. But anyways, Bitcoin recently marked all-time high price of 73.8 on Coinbase, which we captured here in our live pump watch. But anyways, since then, Bitcoin continued to hold a price close to 68 to 70,000 in that range, as outlined here, as we can see in the price chart from February 2024, brought to you by TradingView. And as a result, the market volatility induced price fluctuations. Only a handful of Bitcoin hodlers remain unprofitable. And according to the crypto financial services firm blockchain.com, Bitcoin purchased between March 9th and the 13th and the 25th to the 29th, currently at a loss. In other words, 0.16%, or 6 days of the last 3,732 tradable days did not turn out to be a profitable investment. Can you say that about any other coin in crypto? Probably not. Now, zooming out, the price chart solidifies the strategic importance of hodling Bitcoin during the bear market. CoinMarketCap estimates that 86.28% of all the Biddy wallets hold up to $1,000, which is 13%, holding anywhere between $1,000 to $10,000, and 0.69% holding $100,000 worth of biddies. And additionally, Bitcoin's consistent comebacks from bear markets and subsequent price retention, allowing the mining community to thrive, contribute to the hash rate and inadvertently increase the security of the Bitcoin network. And as Bitcoin halving event approaches, roughly only 2 weeks out, institutions and private investors continue to accumulate that sweet, precious BTC, anticipating the price surge. The fourth Bitcoin halving is expected to commence on block height 840,000, which could happen on 420, April 20th, family. The mining community is also strategizing a game planned to remain profitable post-Bitcoin halving, despite rewards being slashed in half from 6.25 to 3.125. Canadian Bitcoin mining firm Bitfarms pledged nearly $240 million, that's a $250 million, family, to upgrade its fleet of mining equipment. And Bitfarms Chief Financial Officer Jeffrey Lucas gave his reasoning behind the ongoing fleet upgrade, quoting him here. The transformational fleet upgrade propels Bitfarms in scale and profitability amid the Bitcoin halving. This is a game changer that triples our hash rate to 21 exahashes per second. And I'm speculating that's quintillion, right? 21 quintillion exahashes per second, increasing our targeted operating capacity by 83% to 440 megawatts, and improves fleet efficiency by 40% to 21 with these terawatt. Whatever that means, I don't know, TH there. But nonetheless, family, they're scaling, they're ready. Are you scaling and are you ready? And again, congratulations to all my Bitcoin hodlers in profit. That's pretty lit. I love to see virtually everyone in the green. Let's go. Wow, Fresh just gifted 20 memberships. This guy's on a whole different level. Casey Gates, David, Dog, the Judge, 2 for 1, JT, George, Buddy Mac, Johnny Crypto, Michael McCool, Tesh Kid, 5-star, George, Leo Gunn, Force Fall, Rakondo, Folsom Hoddle, Matt, wow, Rob for Flex, Floridian. You've all been blessed with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. Fresh just comes through like he's Satoshi. I don't know. I'm starting to question, is he Satoshi? This dude has gifted hundreds of memberships here on the show. Mind-boggling. Thank you, family. Greatly appreciate it. And welcome all the new members of the channel. Thank you for supporting us here at Crypto News Alerts. Everyone, please show Fresh some love. He deserves a shout out by everyone here on the stream. Who does that? Well, we're just going to give 20 memberships today. Thank you. Not cheap, by the way. Each membership is $5, so you run the math. So thank you, family. We appreciate that. Great gifts. The gift that keeps on giving. You get a membership. You get some biddies. You get some biddies. Yeah, you already know. So yeah, Fresh is the Oprah Winfrey of Crypto News Alerts. Just saying. Let's discuss the latest from Hester Pierce, a.k.a. the Crypto Mom. That's right. This is the Crypto Mom. Check it. United States SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce has taken another swipe at her agency, criticizing the regulator's guidance on crypto custody while calling for more interaction with the public. Speaking at the annual SEC Speaks conference, April 2nd, Pierce, also known as the Crypto Mom, said that a particularly pernicious weed, someone say weed, has sprung up in the SEC's secret garden of policy guidelines. What a metaphor. Her comments were made in response to the controversial Staff Accounting Bulletin 121. In March 2022, the SEC issued SAB 121, outlining the regulator's accounting guidelines for institutions looking to custody crypto assets. Now, notably, SAB 121 prevents many banks from custodying crypto assets on behalf of the clients. Pierce noted that SAB 121, issued without input from the banking sector, does not protect the investors. Instead, it keeps out experienced banks and broker-dealers from the crypto custody business due to its capital implications. Quoting her here, it is driving broker-dealers to allocate significant capital to their crypto custody businesses or to avoid the business altogether. SAB 121 arguably does not protect the investors, nor does the SEC. Just saying. Additionally, if the custodian fails, these assets could be treated as if they belong to the failed entity, not the customers of that entity. And on March 1st, the House Financial Services Committee voted in favor of a resolution that sought to overturn the bulletin. Republican Congressman Tom Emmer described SAB 121 as an illegal example of the SEC Chair Gary Gensler's unrelenting prejudice towards the digital asset ecosystem. I agree with him, and kudos to him for calling out the chairman for being not only a coward, but doing all this bad stuff to us. Additionally, Pierce said the SEC had become closed off to productive engagement with the public, especially when it came to emerging tech such as crypto. As she shares here, the culture at the top of the SEC has changed, which in turn has changed the way the agency interacts with the public. Now, she gives me hope for the SEC because I think of SEC, I only think of Gensler and how corrupt and crooked they are, but we actually have some good people that are trying to help crypto innovation in the SEC. I think she should be the freaking chairman. Get rid of this Gensler already. What are your thoughts on that? Pierce added that both investors and companies are hesitant to meet with the SEC out of fear of enforcement actions. Facts, especially in areas like crypto, which the regulator has identified as priorities for ramped up enforcement. Quoting them here. People have told me that they desperately want to have substantial discussions with the staff, but worry that an inevitable result of such a meeting would be a call from enforcement. Exactly. So people are scared to even reach out to the SEC because they know it's just going to open up a can of worms, because you have this crypto sheriff by the name of No Claire Gare, Mr. Gensler. The commissioner called for the SEC to restore open communication with the public, provide clear guidance, and facilitate rather than impede responsible innovation, including in areas of crypto custody. Now, in an April 3rd post, Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal shared his, it sounds like Paul Wall. Remember Paul Wall? Who? Paul Wall, bro, shared his support for the Pierce remarks, throwing his weight behind her suggestion to create the advisory committee to better understand how the rules actually operate. So there you go, yo. How do you think this will play out? And we also know that the banks are wanting to self-custody crypto. They don't want to have to depend upon the custodians as well. So do you think this will change? Holla. Next story of the day, let's discuss a little bit of Cathie Wood for you guys, for the broskies. Here we go. The headline reads, Bitcoin is a hedge against horrible government fiscal policy. Amen to that. I've also heard her say in interviews, Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, it's a hedge against deflation, and also it's an insurance policy. If you agree with Cathie Wood, broskies, holla, and pump the like specifically for Cathie Wood. We love Cathie Wood here on the channel, just saying. Bitcoin is rising because it's a flight to safety against devaluing fiat currencies, according to Cathie Wood in a new interview shared on CNBC. That's right. Now, the United States' new ETFs may have driven the mainstream narrative around Bitcoin in 2024, but for ARK's Wood, there is another key factor at play. While institutions are finally getting some much needed exposure to BTC, regular citizens are being presented with an even more important opportunity, quoting her here. There's something else going on around the world. There are currency devaluations taking place that people are not talking about. Would reference the performance of currencies such as the Nigerian naira or the Egyptian pound, both of which have lost around half their value against the US dollar in recent months. In these cases and others, it was deliberate government interventions, not direct market forces, that decimated the exchange rate, quoting her again. I think this is a flight to safety, believe it or not, taking place. A hedge against devaluation, a hedge against a loss of purchasing power and wealth. Preach. The interview also brought up last year's U.S. regional banking crisis, which fueled the Bitcoin price rises, and the Greek financial crisis of 2013, quoting her again. I think this is an insurance policy against rogue regimes or against just horrible fiscal monetary policies. How about all the above? Now, as reported, Wood has kept up public support for Bitcoin this year as ARK's ETF product goes head-to-head with the world's biggest asset managers. This week, however, the fund saw uncharacteristic net outflows of nearly 90 million. Quoting Dan Crypto Trades, I suspect this has to do with the quarterly rebalancing flows. And accompanying data from crypto intelligence firm Arkham revealed preliminary outflows from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which ARK's outflows beat on April 2nd at around 130 million, as outlined here by Dan Crypto Trades. And then in March, Wood predicted a 1 million Bitcoin price tag coming before 2030. In fact, she said now by 2027, she raised her prediction by 2030 to 3.8 million, which we covered a couple of episodes ago here on the pod. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. It was a pretty lit episode. And shout out to Cathie Wood. She is the greatest. Just saying. But anyways, family, let me know your thoughts on that. And what are your thoughts surrounding it being a ultimate hedge against corrupt governments and a hedge against inflation, a hedge against deflation, being a flight to safety and being the ultimate insurance policy? Personally, I agree with all the above. Anything Cathie says, I tend to agree with. But anyways, fam, let's dive into our next story of the day. Pump the likes and pump the stream. And let's discuss this supply shock. Anthony Pompliano was recently interviewed and shared some very positive sentiment for the King Crypto on CNBC. He said it's hard to see how the price of Bitcoin will fail to continue appreciating amid the convergence of various catalysts and historical precedent. Quoting him again, we just hit a really important milestone before the halving. We just had the highest weekly, monthly, and quarterly close for Bitcoin. And so the last 4 times that has happened, Bitcoin has appreciated at least 300% through the rest of the bull market. And it doesn't mean it's going to happen again, but to have that happen before the halving, it's kind of like the demand shock happened, and now we're going to have the supply shock. Now, you already know, venture capitalists also say the economic anxieties and hopelessness could be driving the price appreciation to Bitcoin as well as other crypto assets. Quoting them again, the dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power. In 4 years, we have 1.1 trillion in credit card debt. We have 43 million Americans who have federal student debt. The average balance is 37,000. People have lost hope. They do not have hope. How are you supposed to live in a country where it is cheaper to rent than to buy a home in 50 major metros? You don't have to hope. And so what do? I think that if you go and buy a lottery ticket, it's a 300 million to 1 odds. I think there are people right now that are saying, you know what? A meme coin has better odds than a lottery ticket. I think there is a lot of people that say Bitcoin is actually the safest bet. And well said. I actually saw a chart earlier that the state lotteries are up higher than ever, meaning people are gambling higher than ever, and they have the worst odds of actually winning. And I think he makes a good point. Most of the meme coins have been killing it this cycle, and you have way better odds at just putting your money in any ish coin than you are going to see a return in the lottery. So ish coining, in my opinion, is better than playing the lottery. I want to know your thoughts. And of course, Bitcoin is the safest bet, and it is also the fastest horse in the race. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And to watch the video he did, check the show notes below the video in the description. And I'm curious, how many of you actually play the lottery? I refuse to, because I know a 300 million to 1 chance of winning is not enticing. I don't know why people fall for it. And it's the poor people who love to play the lottery. It gives them hope. It gives them a dream. It's sad, but this is the life we live in, right? Meanwhile, there's no SEC, discouraging investors from playing the lottery. They encourage the lottery, and your odds of winning are virtually nothing. No chance. You're better off, better chance of getting hit by lightning twice on a Saturday than winning the lottery. Just saying. So yeah, now for our feature story of the day. PlanB, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, he says that 200,000 Bitcoin is very underwhelming, and in fact that this Bitcoin cycle top will be higher than 500,000 per coin in 2025, which is right around the corner. So let's break this baby down. If you're just joining the stream, pump the likes to pump the stream. I greatly appreciate it. The closely followed quant analyst PlanB believes that Bitcoin can print more than 4x gains this market cycle. In a new strategy session, the on-chain analyst tells his YouTube subs it would be a letdown if Bitcoin ended the current bull market with a 200,000 price peak. Now, JV's personal prediction, my bear scenario is 222,000, and my bull scenario for the cycle peak, 750,000. So it seems to be right in alignment with what he is sharing here. PlanB says the stock to flow model, which compares the amount of a commodity in circulation divided by the amount produced every year, suggests that Bitcoin will see an over 660% rally from the current prices before the market cycle ends. Now run the math from 65,000. If we times that by 660%, that ultimately gives us a $500,000 Bitcoin price, quoting the analyst here. So the next top will not be in this year, 2024, but in the next year, 2025. That top, some people talk about $200,000 as the next top. You can see on this chart, which you can see on your screen, that would be very underwhelming. In fact, from a stock to flow perspective, we need that top that is much higher than that average, 500,000. So let's say 600,000 or 700,000 or maybe $1 million per Bitcoin. So the top will be higher than 500,000 in 2025. Also, the stock to flow officially, I think it was on March 1st, printed the first red dot for the cycle, which signifies we are officially in a bull market. Now, PlanB warns that Bitcoin's ascent will likely have bumps along the way, right? He says he expects Bitcoin to witness several corrections in the coming months en route to hitting his price target. Quoting him again, there will be volatility too. That's very important. It won't be straight up and no dips. There will be multiple minus 20 or 30% dips. That is very normal. Personally, and this is not financial advice, of course, I will do nothing, let's say, for the next 12 months. And I will reassess when the market phase switches from bull market to distribution. So there you have it. And to watch this video analysis he recently did, check the show notes below the video in the description and let me know your thoughts. Can you potentially see Bitcoin rising to $500,000 as high as $1 million per coin for this cycle? And do you agree with that sentiment that we hit the cycle peak in 2025 versus this year in 2024? We've had 3 previous halvings, 2012, 2016 and 2020. And something interesting, a pattern I recognize, it was always after the halving, we broke the previous all-time high. For the first time in Bitcoin history for this cycle, we broke the previous all-time high pre-halving, right? We surpassed 69,000, which we hit back November 10th of 2021. We, a few weeks ago, tapped 73,800, practically 74,000 range. So this cycle could be completely different. Also, another massively different bullish catalyst this cycle is the institutional FOMO, which did not exist previous cycle because it was this year. We just got the green light January 11th for the 11 ETFs, including BlackRock, Fidelity, ARC21, etc. Now, BlackRock already has over 250,000 Bitcoin, which they have collectively received, which is being held by Coinbase, who is their custodian. And I believe Coinbase is also the custodian for GBTC. Now, GBTC used to be the largest Bitcoin hodler in the world with over 600,000 biddies. Now they're like down to like the 200,000 to 300,000 range, meaning they're probably still amongst the highest, largest holder in the world. But now you got BlackRock looking to dethrone them. And you also have MicroStrategy right around the corner, over 212,000 Bitcoin, wherever they're at now, currently holding roughly 1% of the Bitcoin circulating supply. So we have this, what we call game theory, playing out in real time. Now we have other ETFs from other nations, which are going to be launched soon as well, including out of Hong Kong, which will be the first Asian ETF, and that's a spot. And also we're going to have the ETFs coming out of El Salvador, which will be a different kind. It'll be, instead of the cash in, cash out, it'll be Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out, which will separate it from everything else in the market. And then we have people like Mr. 100 continuing to accumulate at least 100 Bitcoin per day. Again, they purchased like 2,500 Bitcoin in the past few days, which is mind-boggling. You know what I mean? You have a lot of billionaires. There's 2,500 known billionaires plus in the world. And I think there's the smart money, and they understand that if they don't have a position in Bitcoin, they're not going to be amongst the richest people in the world for long. Bezos, could it be Mr. 100, right? What do you think? Could it be Andrew Tate? Could it be another nation state who has been secretly acquiring Bitcoin, as Edward Snowden has shared in a recent post on X, which we covered here on the show? I mean, there's just a lot of catalysts. And then we have the supply shock, which very realistically is going to happen. As Pompliano pointed out, we had a demand shock already with this ETF demand, but supply shock to come soon. The quant analysts over at Crypto Quant are projecting within the next 12 months we'll have a legitimate supply shock where there's just no more biddies to get a hold of. There's only roughly 2 million left on the exchanges. And then we also got to consider, what about other nation state adoption, nations that haven't even went public with it yet? What about sovereign wealth funds? There's speculation out of Qatar, $500 billion sovereign wealth fund looking to convert it into Bitcoin. There's talk of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia adopting Bitcoin, places like Dubai and the UAE, Abu Dhabi. A lot of potential. So, I mean, I think it is very clear. The writing is on the wall. Bitcoin is the fastest horse in the race, will continue to be with the least risk. And we have the potential to hit these crazy targets we talk about every day, hence why I cover them every day. Some of you believe it can't happen. We'll never get to 80,000 Bitcoin. Okay, I've heard that one before. No matter where the price is at, you're going to have haters say, we can't do this. It's not possible, because some people are not visionary. Some people just can't see the future. Some people are only living in the past, and because they could only see reality in their mind as something that has already happened. So for a lot of you guys, 73.8 is the top. It can't go any higher. It hasn't happened before, and you just can't see it going past it. I don't understand that thinking, because I consider myself a visionary. I can see Bitcoin hitting 200,000 per coin effortlessly in a bear scenario. I can see it hitting 750,000 in my bull scenario. I can see it exceeding my expectation and hitting $1 million per coin for this cycle. So I'm a visionary. I can see what hasn't been created yet. I can see into the future just by studying the past. Some people study the past, unable to see the future. I don't understand that. There's an old saying that, you know what I mean? What's that history saying? To know the future, study the past, right? Because sometimes history repeats. And if it doesn't necessarily repeat, it oftentimes rhymes. And something I have discovered, Bitcoin seems to go up roughly 200% per year, right? And modest 200% from the previous all-time high we just touched of 74,000. That's still a modest, roughly, what is that? Close to 150,000 Bitcoin price. That's a very bare scenario. What if we were to 5x? What if we were to 10x? What if Plan B is right and we do a 650% climb to $500,000 per coin by 2025, and you had the opportunity right now to buy at 66? You passed it up, just like the opportunity you had to buy a year ago at the bottom at roughly $16,000, but you passed it up. How long are you going to pass up these opportunities before you actually get all in, right? And understand the Bitcoin is the future. It is the only incorruptible money. It is the only unconfiscatable money. It's immutable. It's borderless. It has everything going for it that gold wish it had going for it. Yet, it's still only 66,000 per coin. You have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin today at a discount cheaper than it was 3 years ago when we hit the cycle peak of 69,000. To me, that's a steal. To me, the real, true, intrinsic value of Bitcoin right now is at least hundreds of thousands of dollars, just for the fact it's unconfiscatable. Ask Mr. Tate how much Bitcoin is worth to him. He'll tell you. He recently tweeted he's been purchasing Bitcoin every single week without fail since 2018 when he discovered Bitcoin. And he says he hasn't sold anything. Do you understand? I understand what that means. It means he recognizes Bitcoin as the only true asset that has a finite limited supply, that is uncorruptible, and that they can't steal from him. And I think there's a lot of other wealthy billionaires in the world who are thinking the same, who are going all in on Bitcoin. It's not just Ricardo Salinas, third richest man in Mexico, soon to be number one richest, or Cathie Wood, or Max Kaiser, or Mike Saylor, or Pompliano, whomever it is. The smart money knows what's up. At this stage in the game, everyone who understands money knows how powerful Bitcoin is. Even the haters, they must recognize it by now, right? So anyways, for what it's worth, let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price action is likely to be for this cycle peak. And do you think we hit the cycle peak this year, 2024? Or do you think it'll be in 2025? Holla.